live and we are laughing through this situation. We're repeating, I love technology and technology loves me all the way. Thank you so much for waiting. It will be worth the wait, I promise you. I am here today live for Confessions of a Global Changemaker with the one and only Laughter Liberator, Brigitte Keane, who has transformed the smiles and the energy of the faces of the Brand Builders Club and is having people laughing all over the world, even through situations when technology doesn't work. So there you go. You can laugh your way through anything. Without further ado, let me introduce you to this amazing Wonder Woman of Wow, Brigitte. Hello.
Hello. Can you guys see me?
We can see you. It's so good to see you. Are you dialing in from North Carolina?
Well, actually, I'm dialing in from Florida.
Oh, you're in Florida this time. Oh, yes, because you're traveling.
Yes, talking about challenges because my place didn't have internet access.
Oh.
So I am here at a community center.
Oh, bless you. It's like by hook or by crook, we're going to make this work today.
Yeah.
So, Brigitte, let's get straight in. I want to really, with this little bit of time that we've got together today, I want to find out more about what you've been through on your entrepreneurial journey, because you've been all over the world. You've met the greatest gurus. You've ministered to the most incredible people. You've done so many things in your life. Tell us, how did you get onto this journey of laughter liberation? Because you haven't done it your whole life, have you? Tell us, what did you do? What was your past life before this?
Okay, well, it was a long time. I am also a pastor in another life. And
okay.
One of the people in my congregation came up to me and said, oh, Pastor, my mother is a different person. She's so different. Do you want to know more about it? And I said, sure, tell me more. And so she told me about this laughter thing. And she said, oh, can we do it? Can we do it at our church every Sunday? And I said, oh, yes, sure we can. And so that was my introduction to laughter. And what was surprising, that people like sourpusses, people who don't usually like to contribute anything, participate. Everybody was participating in laughter.
Excellent.
So that was my first introduction. And then it just, so happened that the guy who, Dr. Kataria, who actually kind of invented this method, he came to my town and, he invited people to come and meet him. And then he met me and then he asked, well, would you consider being trained by me? This is brand new. And so that was about 25 years ago.
Wow. So 25 years ago. I didn't realize that laughter yoga had been around for so long.
Yes, it has. And it has changed the world. It's now in more than 65 countries. And and Dr. Kataria, who just considers himself a very, very humble, boring doctor, he has become the laughter guru.
That's amazing.
He was doing research on laughter and for writing for a magazine. And then he said, oh, I could use that for my own people too, my own patient. And his wife was a yoga teacher. And so they talked about what they were going to do. And at first they were just kind of doing a lot of laugh and jokes. And then one woman came up to me and said, you know what? I don't think these jokes are also funny. If I have to laugh because of that, then I don't want to. And so he invented this way of laughing without a reason. And what I'm sharing with everybody now, I have gone through this. I have literally gone through a metamorphosis through this laughter. And I've done many things in my life, but I want to do the best things that I know in my life, or how I can pay forward, how I can give back to people. And laughter is just still the best medicine.
It is. It is.
Yes.
And you start laughing in the middle of anywhere, don't you? Like we just literally had our Vision, Voice and Visibility Summit. And I said, Brigitte, come up to the front. And I got Brigitte up to the front and, you know, give us a little bit of this laughter liberation. And she just set the entire room up in stitches and everybody was laughing. So you get to the point where you actually feel like you've done sit-ups because your stomach is hurting and your jaw is aching.
Well, yes. Do you know that 10 minutes of laughter, belly laughter, is as much as half an hour of any other aerobic exercise?
I did not. Guys and girls, did you know that? Did you know that? Like, put it in the comments box here. Is that something that you know? Because I didn't know that. I knew that laughter makes your tummy hurt, so it must be good for you in some way. And obviously, it gets all the feel-good things going in your body.
There are so many benefits, but it's like laughter is like jogging for your intestines. So, yes, I mean, if you know, I could spend days talking about the benefits of laughter, and yes, I have been privileged to share laughter all over the world, and there was in India. I went to a women's college and so I did a presentation there. And one of the professors, of course, I didn't know that he was a professor. He was just sitting there in front. And I kind of, you know, used laughing with him, talked with him. And later on, when we talked in a you know, what, how do you call it, faculty with all the people who were there after the thing is over. And he said in front of all his colleagues that he has not laughed for 10 years. And that this is like the first time he has laughed, and he is very, very grateful.
Wow. Wow. I mean, there's so many facets to the laughter side of things, isn't there? You know, it's like so many benefits. You had an advert in our summit workbook, and you sent everything across to me, and I was reading through it. And, you know, I know that laughter is good for you, but I didn't realize it has so many benefits. I mean, there's so many things that happen to us as entrepreneurs when we're on this journey. And like, you got involved in this movement 25 years ago. So you've been at the very start of the creation of a movement. You decided to go with it, even though like you didn't know the future of this. You had no idea that it would go global.
No, I did not know, but it changed my life. Because I was one person who took myself so seriously, and oh no, I could not laugh about myself, and everything was a trauma. And now I can just laugh about it. And so this is actually, and I decided to have the lifestyle of laughter that goes with laughter, because it's a lifestyle. It's how we look. We can either be a caterpillar, or we can be butterfly.
Mm-hmm.
But you can be both at the same. There is no direct way to it. You have to go through the chrysalis phases, which is a very dark place, and so that's what caterpillars do. They go through these phases till they grow enough, and then they turn into butterfly.
Brigitte, I can't imagine a time where you were ever like sad or not laughing. You know, I mean, ever since I've met you, you're just like one big walking chuckle. You just like, wherever you go, like you light the room up. You literally light the room up.
Thank you.
So, I mean, is there ever a time in your life when you feel down, or is it literally do you catch it and you just start laughing as soon, you know, like, how normal are you, Brigitte? You know,
well,
I consider myself to be a positive person, but there are still times that, you know, shit hits the fan, and I'm like, whoa, you know. So, is there a time that you ever get sad?
Just let me tell you, I am a normal person. I mean, like, for example, I mean, I made hard decisions, and things happen, and you just have, how do you respond? Like, one of my most courageous thing was, and that was a really, really, really tough decision, was to walk out of my marriage. And that was like, I never thought I could ever do this in my life, because the man, he was a nice person. There was but it just, I just couldn't be there. I couldn't be who I was. So yes, there is definitely things happening, and I love to be able to talk to people, and and things are different. Like, but even today, I mean, yes, there is no internet. What are we going to do? Right? Well, so okay, I could look at a hotel, or I could look at a restaurant, and they have internet. So it's just really a way of life, of looking at things. And oh, there was another opportunity I can tell you. Was I was sitting in a doctor's office, and he was trying to get blood from me, right? And do you hear me still?
Yeah,
Because
keep going.
okay, okay, and for 45 minutes he really couldn't, and I had to put my arm under hot water and do all these things, and it really, really hurt. And then I remembered, oh, laughter takes away pain. I started laughing and laughing, and the doctor looked at me like, oh, what's happened? But then he laughed too, and guess what happened? The blood flowed, and everything was done in just 2 minutes. And the nurse, when we came out, asked, "What was so funny in there?" So I mean, it's just a way of laughter. It does take, among other things, laughter takes pain away, and laughter. Well, just ask me questions about it, because I could go on and on and on.
So, okay, well, let's go back a bit, because I want to dig a little bit more into your history. This is Confessions of a Change Maker, after all. So let's go back a bit. So you went into the ministry. How old were you when you became a minister?
About 25.
And what was the decision to go into that career, with so much choice of what to do? What was it that led you down that path?
Well, because it seemed to me that theology was all encompassing, and I could just understand. I could understand things in a different way, and I could just literally make the world my playground, and so I would not be specialized. So I have a lot of experience in a lot of different areas, which is great, because there's so much out in this world, and it's so amazing.
Yeah. And so you went into the ministry. You got married at some point. How many children do you have?
I have 3 daughters.
And they're all fully grown now, are they?
Yes, they are. I am also a grandmother of my first grandbaby.
Right.
And
Yeah.
actually, last year I was a professional grandma, which meant that my daughter called me and she asked me, could you imagine watching the baby for me, so that we can go to work, her and her husband. And that was such an incredible privilege. It was a lot of work, but I mean, the miracle of life unfolding before you, it was just amazing. And being in a circle of moms again, and it was so it enriched my life. And of course, I also knew that his life, my grandson, his name is Max, that his life would be enriched. So
yeah. What would you say?
yes.
What's the biggest lesson that Max has taught you so far?
Well, as kids, we have all the things that we need as babies. We're born with them, and then they get educated away from us. And then we spend the rest of our life getting back what these kids had, that they could smile, they could live in the moment, they can be very acceptable. There's some statistic that I just came across. So how often do you think a 4-year-old laughs a day?
I don't know. Guys and girls, put it in the comments with the video. How many times a day does a 4-year-old laugh? Okay. Go on then, Brigitte. Give it to us.
More than 400 times, 300 to 400 times. They laugh all the time. Now, the shocking thing is, so how often do you think that the average adult laughs?
Oh gosh, I would think that that's really quite low. 10?
Nope. 4 times. 4 times. So what happened between these? Yes. What happened between the 300 times and, I mean, come on, so we really need to rediscover our joy, because laughter is healing and the body can heal itself if we give it a chance. So we cannot be stressed. That's really, if and just notice anything, we cannot be stressed if we're laughing. So the body thinks when it's stressed, a tiger is chasing it, and it wants to. It's one of the very primary things that the body is doing. So it shuts down anything, part of the brain, part of our digestion, part of anything, because it wants to save enough energy to chase a tiger, right? Or to get away from the tiger. Well, except that there is no tiger. And so we cannot think, because we are just, our brain shuts down. However, if we are comfortable with it, then we can think. Our right brain, our left brain can connect, and we actually become more creative. So there is really no way that we can be creative without being relaxed.
Yeah, I definitely find that. I mean, you're like, just to jump in there, thinking about this as a concept, because, it's easy to say, well, surely if you're laughing, that's got to be better for you than crying or feeling sad. But I remember when I watched The Secret many, many years ago, first time, I mean, how many of you have watched The Secret? Probably in the comments here. When did you first watch it? Because I first watched it, it must be about 10 years ago, maybe 11 years ago. And I remember the essence that I really took away from that, watching it that first time, was the lady who was diagnosed with breast cancer, and her husband just stopped everything, and they didn't do anything in the outside world. They switched everything off, and all they did was put funny movies on. All they did was laugh at funny movies, old hysterical movies, things that just made them chuckle, made them feel with joy. And I remember her saying that she went back to the doctor, I don't know, whether it was 6 weeks later or something like that, and the tumor had completely vanished. And they couldn't work out, like, how is that even possible, that this tumor can vanish and she's not done anything? In their eyes, she didn't do anything. She didn't really change her, she didn't have the operation, she didn't have chemotherapy, she didn't have radiation, she didn't have any of those things. They couldn't work out, how does this tumor just disappear? How does it go away? And, she credits it to the law of attraction, being so in a joy space, in a heart space, in that love space, that nothing else could get in. Like, it couldn't spread. And it's almost like laughter almost alkalizes your body by the sound of it.
Exactly, because it's like, do we love ourselves? Do we love, I mean, even if something in our body doesn't work, we still ought to say thank you, because it has been with us for however many years we are, and it has served us, and we have abused it. You know, one of the things that I'm using is as a picture is you take a bridge and the bridge is broken, right? There's no way to connect everything. Now, what are we going to do? The bridge has to be rebuilt. Or in our, say we have a car, right? And we will put a milkshake into our car. What would the car do? Bloop, 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 and it would be broken. But what does our body do when we put all that stuff in our body that shouldn't be there? Our body continues. It continues.
It just works harder.
Yeah. So, I mean, just be grateful for, you know, for everything. And even for when we are sick or something, well, our body is telling us, take a break. Take a break.
I mean, there's so many examples of this, isn't there, that are like total proof of the concept. I mean, there's a lady on my mastermind group, and she has stage 4 cancer, and she's joined this mastermind group for a year with stage 4 cancer, knowing that the possibility of her not making it to the end of that year, it's like it's a very real possibility. But in her mind, it's like she knows for sure she's going to make it to the end of that year, and not only is she going to make it to the end of that year, she has learned to love the cancer. She gives love to the cancer, and she talks openly about how much love and how much gratitude she gives to the cancer, because she said, I love myself and the cancer is part of me, therefore I love the cancer. And it's such a different way of looking at it, when there's the mindset thing, I mean, we're talking about laughter being liberation, but it's also about that mindset, isn't it? And I think, is it Tony Robbins that says, if you change your state, everything else will change. So if you laugh, like you say, you can't be stressed when you're laughing. You can't be ill when you're laughing necessarily, or illness.
Or maybe even if we are, but see, if we don't take ourselves so seriously, then we make room to take other people more seriously. And so we can just be more better people, because we know that we make mistakes. And, we can just, and I teach people sometimes, that they can laugh about mistakes rather than, and we know now, of course, that mistakes are what? Growing experiences, right? Well, now, I was not told that in school at all. And most children are not. And so there's a lot of work that has to be done.
Yeah.
And
that's what we spend all of our lives undoing. Like, we come into this world in this state of complete joy, and then we get the joy taken out of us, and then we spend the rest of our lives trying to get back to joy.
Exactly. That's exactly what I learned with a baby, with Max. Exactly.
And what a great lesson for you. It's so easy for you to say no to your daughter, wouldn't it? But you didn't. You said yes, and now Max has taught you. He's not even 1 yet, I don't think. Is he? Is he? Maybe he's definitely less than 2.
Actually, he's 18 months now.
Right. Okay. So he's a year and a half old, and he has taught you that lesson before he even reached the age of 2. I mean, how great is that?
He has taught me lessons ever since he was born.
That's amazing.
Yes, and I mean, this is how we could look at our kids, at having kids, at raising kids. Just I look at everything that I'm doing is a lesson. I can learn. What can I learn? Not so much what can they learn from me, but what can I learn from them? And and then it's a give and take.
So, Brigitte, let's just get into then, because things haven't always been easy for you, and whether you laughed or cried your way through it, what would you say? Obviously, this is Confessions of a Global Changemaker. This is the name of the series. So what would you say is a confession or a share that you'd like to give to, something that you've been through in your life as you've been building your business that you would never want someone else to go through, or you could say, here's what I went through, and if you ever go through that, or you know someone going through it, here's the best way to deal with it. What would that confession or that share be?
Well, one would be to think big and think bigger, because we tend, and so did I tend to think too small. And we are connected. We are, really brothers and sisters all over the world. Last I checked, we all have red blood. Yeah. So, and if we know that, then we have a connection amongst each other. And so I think just working together, not working against each other. That's
Yeah.
what is the biggest thing that I could tell people. And the other one is that we are enough. You're enough just as you are. I mean, you don't need another degree. You don't need to go to school. You don't need to do anything. You are okay the way you are. And of course, you want to learn more and there's more opportunities, but right now, in this moment, you're perfect. So just let's not be so critical at ourselves, and and tell us da 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 da, because we are perfect. There is perfection in the imperfection.
So how did you come to learn that? Because I mean, there are two big lessons that you've given there. And there must be something that you've been through. What I want to get to is, how did you actually learn that? What did you go through for that to become a learning experience for you?
Well, it took me a long time to go through these things, and I feel now that I can tell people, and maybe they can avoid some of these things that I did. But I know, yes, with I just have like amazing experiences, and they just happened to me, and I think for all of us together, like that a synergy, 1 + 1, and math doesn't work anymore, because there's one and one plus a synergy of us, and then there's two. I mean, it just goes on. Math does not work anymore. And I kind of put all these things, had to do it myself. And then when I find out that somebody actually had the same idea, then I am so happy. Because I think, wow, because all it is at the end is to love, is love. We love what we're doing, we love people. We just, we are group, we're made to be living in groups.
Yeah. And so, Brigitte, when it comes to your next steps, like what's next for you? Because you've now started to travel over to Europe, you've become an investor in other businesses, you're getting involved in lots of things all around the world. You're a Brand Builders Club member, so you're flying about and you're meeting our other Brand Builders Club members all over the world. Like, what's next for you? What does 2020 hold for you?
Well, actually, what I my one of my dreams is to provide a platform, an international platform for healers to meet each other, so that we could know actually what we're doing. And because in India, people is just very, very different from what people do here. So wouldn't it be nice if we could learn from each other? And so that is one thing, and the other thing is to teach and to allow others to do what I am doing. I want to start this to be a movement,
Mm-hmm.
so that we can make people happy and see, hey, there's a little child in all of us, and we play with that little child. Give permission to play, give permission to be creative, and to think back to who was this little child? You know, what made us tick? What did we want to do? And we'll find that we have a lot of those things in us, and they're just buried, and we can rediscover them.
Got to uncover them. It's time to release it. It's time to release all of the things that are holding you back. 2020 is an incredible year. I think that 2019 has been quite a tough year for a lot of people. I'm not quite sure whether it was just the energy of the year, whether it's we're coming to the end of a decade, but there's been a lot of hard work that's had to happen in 2019, a lot of lessons. If you're watching this and you've learned some hard lessons this year, or you felt that it's not been as easy as you'd like it to be this year, then, give us a yes in the comments here, because, I'm finding that already the energy is shifting. As we're going into 2020, I'm finding that loads of things are releasing. People that aren't meant to be in your life, they're being released from your life. Stuff's happening, right? And things that aren't meant to be there, they're going. And as painful as some of those things are, it's necessary. It's absolutely necessary for growth. I was talking to someone today, and they were saying that at times they've really felt like they've been broken this year. And I heard someone else say, well, you just got to remember that a seed has to completely break before the shoot dries, and the great big oak tree can bloom and blossom, right? And so sometimes we've got to break in order to grow. And like a muscle, a muscle has to be, it tears to be able to grow and get stronger. And that's just, I think, what 2019 has been about.
Yes, and I also think we always a baby, before a baby is born, there is a pregnancy. And there is some hard things we have to go through. I do believe that we are living in really exciting times, but difficult times, and where a lot of new things are happening, and we are witnessing those things. And so, it
is exciting times indeed. Oh dear.
You there?
Yeah. Oh, I think we lost you for a moment there. Brigitte, we are going to wrap up now. Thank you so much for taking the time and finding a place where you could get internet to work, and we finally made it work. Thank you, guys and girls, for bearing with us while we managed to get Brigitte.
Yes, and thank you for having me here, and for I just love you guys, and so it's just a privilege to be amongst change makers, because that's what the world needs. So I consider you my brothers and sisters in our global family, and the world is our playground.
Yes, it is. Yes, and amen to that. So Brigitte has just bought her ticket for the summit, the Changemaker 2020 summit, that we'll be holding in Miami at the end of 2020. So from the 4th to the 7th of December, we're going to be in Miami for 3 days. Bob Doyle from The Secret, for those of you that were at the summit just last week, you got to meet Bob and spend time with Bob, and he was just brilliant. He really took the time to spend time with as many people as he could in the room, and I just love him and adore him for that. So Bob is going to be our MC for Miami 2020 as well. And in fact, I'm going to be joined by Bob tomorrow. So come and drop by 6 p.m. GMT. So what time's that going to be? That's going to be 1 p.m. for those of you that are on Eastern time. And I think that's going to be, is that 11 or no, 10, I think. Is it 10 or 11 PST? Well, you can work it out. If you Google it, work out what time that is for you. So we're going to be here at 6 p.m. on sorry, that's on Friday. We've got Sarah Cox tomorrow. So she is like the guru of systems and automating and lead generation and creating funnels. So we're going to be getting down and dirty on funnels tomorrow during the Changemaker interview tomorrow. So we're going to be going live at 6 p.m. for the next 2 days, just so that you know that. And it's just been a pleasure to spend this time with you, Brigitte. And for those of you that have joined us, Fiona, Lara, Jelena, and those of you that are joining us for the replay afterwards, thank you so much for being you, for being true, and being that lighthouse for each other. Brigitte, thank you so much. Have fun in Florida.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for all you're doing, for bringing all of us together. That's wonderful.
You're welcome.
And,
you make it very, very easy for me to love what I do.
Wonderful.
Yeah, you take care. I'm sending you all loads of love. I will be back in the group tomorrow. Remember, 6 p.m. we're going to get down and dirty on funnels, and then on Friday, get it booked into your diary. We're going to spend some time with Bob Doyle, and he's going to be covering live streaming. So we're going to get really into live streaming. For those of you that came to the summit, you already had a good 90 minutes with Bob over the 3 days, and he did his little session on live streaming. But I felt it wasn't enough. I think we need some more of Bob. We need some more of that live streaming action.
Right, exactly.
So join us on Friday. Take care. Have a wonderful evening. And for those of you in the Brand Builders Club, I'm going to be going live in 20 minutes. So look at your watch now. And in 20 minutes, it's going to be 7 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. Eastern. And if you've got any questions or you want to run anything by me, you want to work out your fame name or work on your business, and you just want me to yourself and the small group that meets whenever we go live, the Zoom link will be announced in the Brand Builders Club group. I think it's already been put out there today, and for those of you that are signed up to the mobile wallet, you will have received that as well. So I will see you online. Take care. Lots of love, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.